Well, what's going on, guys? This is the Cloud9 podcast, season 4, episode 1. We are going to be talking all things LCS. As you guys already know, we had split the Cloud9 podcast into 2 segments, one for the LEC and one for the LCS, actually. So tonight, it is all things LCS, starting with TSM news, because TSM just can't stay out of the conversation. They have been more in the conversation in these last 2 weeks than probably any other team. Whether that's a good or bad thing depends on how you look at that. So,
I was going to make a joke saying they're in the news more than the amount of times MSK has dated a girl. But that would give him way too much credit. But we all know it's 0.
I've dated so many girls, honestly. Like at this point, my friend can confirm these things.
Yeah. Do you want me to repeat his story he told on stream yesterday? Like,
he was just fucking with you guys. He was obviously joking, I know how to use my fingers to make girls just blow their load, honestly.
Okay. I'm less surprised about that because, that was the obvious. I'm just more surprised that you're just like, wait 30 minutes, I need to finish this game of League.
I was in my bronze 4 promos. Why are you laughing at me?
It feels at least like Challenger or something.
Oh, Challenger, yeah.
Fucking bronze, just fuck off, give up. Just give up.
Yeah, like back in the day, I was Challenger. Back in the day, back when I was in my prime for League of Legends. When I was in my prime,
fucking gold max. Shut up.
I was literally peaking like low Challenger to like top 10 in the region. Like, what are you talking about? Actually, what do you mean?
Can you show me some stats? Some of your account.
I can show you TSM's track record of League of Legends championships in this region. Now, this is the thing that I've learned about covering anything regarding LCS is people are so not even negative. They're just all over the place. There's no concrete way that people actually look at things, when it comes to like LCS. And then the other thing that ended up happening was a freak called Fudge an idiot. Oh my god. Jeez.
Was it ironic or unironic? Because
this is the thing. And then you know how the LCS broadcast has been doing the whole like adding a player in to add in 3 people because people like the TriCast.
He wasn't on there with them.
Yeah, so like they announced that Fudge is going to be joining Captain Flowers and Isaiah.
Where's Freak? Yeah. Okay, so was that on I don't know what incident you're talking about where he called him an idiot. I don't.
It was when he tried to fight Licorice when he was playing Sejuani, and Fudge was on Kale, and he thought he could win, and then he called him an idiot. I'm pretty sure that's the part of the game. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, you don't do that as a caster. That's even if you're being joking which I don't know if he was or not, but you do not do that. But also, Fudge was literally dicking Licorice. It's just he literally lost his brain and just gave him like 4 kills.
I thought it was pretty even for both of them.
He just gave him like 4 kills for free for no reason, even though he was like dicking him in lane as an early game fucking Kale. And then later stomped him as his team. So I don't know what happened with him losing his brain with those 4 deaths there, and especially the first one early on, like him just walking forward. But if it wasn't for that, God, it would have been like fucking 20-0 against Lickers. Would have just kicked him out of LCS.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was gross. If it wasn't for that,
so
Jesus Christ.
My thing here with that is like Freak has been pretty much on the fence with flaming NA teams for like a while at this point. He's been like on this teeter of like going like insanely harsh on them in terms of like macro decisions, dragon setups, dives, laning phases, everything. Like Freak has been on that level of like almost going too far. And you have to know the Riot LCS people that involved with the LCS, they definitely talked like, hey, you can't be doing that. Like,
there were times where I was like, that's like when he raged out on Dignitas for like not being in their base while they were like clearing minions at one time, and then raged out on like CLG. I'm like, that like those 2 times. I'm like, okay, sure, but then he did it too much. He did it too much after that, and Freak. Yeah, it's hard to tell if he's being ironic or unironic. I did love I give him all the credit for that one time where he absolutely baited Carlos and got him triggered. He like this said the most ironic, sarcastic shit ever about EU versus NA, and Carlos like fucking because now he has like the IQ of like 30 and all he knows how to do is poach players and do some Mexican cartel work. Didn't understand the sarcasm and he fucking trolled the living shit out of him in like a 50 tweet thread. It was hilarious.
Like, people give Freak a hard time, man, but I've never really had an issue with the guy, honestly. Like, I thought you gotta have those kind of personalities on the desk, otherwise everyone's just gonna come off the
he
same.
isn't perfect. He has his bad moments, like what's his name? I'm trying to remember, fucking who was the Crumbs? Like, yeah, he has his bad moments, but I mean,
Crumbs was absurdly not good. I don't know.
Yeah, well, as an analyst and everything, he wasn't. But I mean, just as a person and whatnot, he had his bad moments as well. But I'm not going to take that out on him and as a person. But same thing with Freak. Whatever he's
not as a person. I was never a dude for Crumbs. I was like, this guy is just
he has like the odd good take where you're like, okay, maybe there's some hope. Well, he brought something new to the table like early on in like 2018 and stuff. I'm like, okay, he had all good takes or that people didn't bring up enough. So just like even though Emily was extremely biased when she first came in, she didn't tone that down. And now it's been awesome in my opinion. But she brought something new as well that other analysts didn't bring up. Same thing with High. So I'm like, okay, so I didn't mind him then, but he's not good. He doesn't know like anything about all that shit. I'm sorry, but I mean, just as a person, just like Freak has his bad moments, but still. But that's kind of like the LCS in general, though, with personality. Like, seriously, one day, like someone like Double It will, have like a hopeful, take on something like, CLG looking good. I really like the LCS, how they're going right now. Cloud9 with LS. And then it's like literally fucking like less than a day later, he'll just randomly be like, yeah, man, there's just no hope for LCS. Just fucking shit show. Like, I couldn't make it out of groups just trying my hardest. Just everybody might as well retire. I'm just like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's always that, like, seriously, it's like everybody in LCS has like bipolar disorder or something. It's like it's always one extreme like sucking them off or one extreme just fucking flaming them with LCS personalities and analysts and everything.
Yeah,
I do not get it.
So my thing when it comes to like the broadcast is you need people like him, but if you can't be going that far, And I know a lot of people were praising Dokla on Summoning Insight, for going over like draft and picks and bans and preparation. And like, I know people have, given the casters shit for not going more in depth into that, but they really can't because of time constraints. When you're in pick and ban, you have to just pretty much just give the general surface level of what average viewers can understand so you can just get through those phases, Like when you're on any given patch, actually, you can kind of tell which teams are going to pick what, give or take what players, they actually have on their roster. And if you've been on a patch for a given period of time, for any given period of watching League of Legends between LCS, LEC, LPL, like you can tell like which team is going to take what. Like, well, on this phase, they're probably going to take, not right now will be like you take Sejuani first in your top lane, and then you fucking pick like Trundle. Then the next phase, the other person takes Zeri. Then the next phase, you take this, and because they ban out this champion, then you can't get that champion. And if you take this power pick, you don't get that power pick. I actually love draft conversations. They're actually really, really interesting. But the only issue that I always run into is everyone always flames draft. It's like always coming down to draft. I've seen LPL teams get shit drafts, actually. Really shit drafts. Some of those LPL teams still manage to win games because it's all based on how you actually play the game. It's all based around that, But, that's just me personally. I think people just overflame the draft so hard. I mean, like, there are some drafts that are unplayable, but it's like, dude,
Well, yeah, it's like the one draft, like, when Cloud9 was facing Immortals. Again, it really wasn't good at all. It's pretty bad, but I mean, that wasn't why they lost the game, though.
That wasn't why they lost at all, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Contrary. Hi, Warren. How you doing? Are you alive tonight?
I think Freak is fine. I just think NA is soft. I've watched Mazel, that dude on LPL. Huh?
I'm just fucking with you.
Oh no. In LPL,
no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That guy, he rips on people bad. Like,
yeah.
Like, he ripped on bit, and he has every right, like, because he analyzes the draft. NA is soft, man. Like, I'm sorry to say, like, even LEC, I've seen players get on the desk and, you know, they might slip a curse, but they literally
Warren,
say...
You're coming a little too quiet. I'm going to change something a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, just... You're coming just a little too low. I could hear you, actually.
Oh, what about now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's fine.
So, even LEC, like, Ilias was like, BDS is bad. People... You need people like this, and you can't be soft because when you go to international events, you want to get a pat on the back and say, "Hey, you did a good job losing in 15 minutes, guys. Way to go! How does that sound? Like, think about that."
Yeah. Congrats, you lost in literally 5 minutes when you stepped onto the rift.
Oh, guys, you know what? You lost a game in 16, not in 15. 16, 1 minute better.
Like, I remember when FlyQuest faced Top Esports for the first match of the main group stage at Worlds 2020. FlyQuest literally lost 1 minute into the game. They actually lost a minute into the game.
Yeah, because Solo was inting.
And then people were like, we did last 20 minutes in the game. Like, Power People and Ignor had some good team fights. They lost literally a minute walking onto the rift. It was actually one of the funniest games I've ever seen.
They walked on the stage. That's when they lost.
Solo got solo killed in like a minute and like 20 seconds. I was like, oh my god. All right, well, I guess we just go home now.
I mean, it's almost like that team was bad and shouldn't have gone to Worlds if it wasn't for, Cloud9's amazing Yuumi draft.
Good god. I love those Yuumi drafts, actually. But, all right, let's go over the LCS 2022 Spring Split Week 5. So, we're going to go over the standings in a little bit for you guys, but we have to talk about all of the recent news that came up. So the news that ended up coming up was centered on TSM. So let's talk about TSM first, because they're going to be a big central talking point of this episode right now, because a lot of the news does center around them, actually. So as we know, and as I even called this in the last podcast that we did for the LCS, I even specifically said, if Seoul doesn't perform very well within these games, they're gonna replace him with Solo. I literally said that.
MSK, every person on the planet called that.
But I wanted to make sure I said that. It was
extremely obvious. Now,
yeah.
Again, no hate on Solo. He was shoved in. Of course, they're going to do that, especially picking up Solo. But I mean, I will say, like, despite being on that trash TSM team, the LCS and Academy, like, having nothing to work with, and just being more new to the scene. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he was going to play bad this year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look bad, but there are things that I actually like from his game where I'm like, okay, there's some potential here. But I think, again, when I say that stuff, usually these players don't end up being anything because it's LCS. It's just a shit show of like talent that's like doesn't really turn out. But I'm just saying there's something here that you could maybe, turn into something.
Maybe this specific org won't be getting that out of him. There were some things that I saw in him. I was like, okay, he might be a all right player on a good, middle of the pack LCS team. I don't think this specific org is going to be getting that out of him, especially right now with all their issues.
I mean, there's many players like that. It's just teams don't give them a chance. Like we had Winston come into TSM Academy that 1 year back in like 2020 or 2019. He was playing great, but then they released him for a garbage Oceanic jungler when that regional thing was like broken after 2020 for some reason, and he hasn't got a chance since. Just been an amateur, and I don't know why. He's been still doing good ever since, but whatever.
So, like I told you guys last week who were watching the show pertaining to the LCS, if Seoul does not perform very well, they're gonna swap him out, because TSM's thing now, apparently even more or less so than it used to be when I was consistently watching them, is if a player does not perform very well, they're getting swapped out. That's it. That's just
it. Yeah, I really want to look for that guy who said that Instinct was going to be garbage and there was nothing ever good about him.
The only reason, I promise you, if Instinct has a back-to-back bad couple of weeks from these later weeks between week 6 and 7, they're going to put Tactical back in.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious, and he wasn't ready either. But I mean, I don't understand that.
My thing here is that they're so results based right now. It's like they're so desperate to get any wins on the board.
It's like, do you not know what a rebuild is, TSM?
Yeah, because my thing here is they're so desperate for a win right now that they'll just swap a player out if they feel like he doesn't get them anything.
Well,
you know,
it's like, why do you think? Oh, sorry, go Warren.
Sorry, Warren.
Well, not to compare caliber, right? But TSM is going through a T1 phase. And what do I mean? I don't mean that they're good as T1, right? That's not what I'm saying. Let me make sure I clarify that for anyone that's watching. Remember, T1 didn't make Worlds and had 2 splits where they were terrible. Like, they were just bottom of the pack, but they rebuild. Problem is, with any NA sport, doesn't have to be esports, unless you're like a small homegrown like team, like say Immortals, not even Immortals, like FlyQuest, more or less CLG, because CLG has dropped down since 2016. Let's be honest about that, right? You're not the bigger orgs. You expect instant gratification. You expect you expect TL, you expect Cloud9, TSM. Well, not so much now. 100T to be, and now probably EG soon. At the top. So that's the real problem. It's not the players. It's the, and you got to remember they have sponsors, so they're trying to keep the money and still have some sort of mediocre results. And that's the issue.
But it's like, we look at CLG. Why do you think they get into this point? Because they kept their roster together. Besides Jenkins, who's trash.
But Sean, respectfully.
Also, Sean, you have to turn yourself over too.
Sean, respectfully, not to disregard your opinion. Do you really think CLG can do anything at Worlds?
Well, no, but that's not my point. They're getting to a point.
No. That is a point, because
they get into the point where they can at least contend for a world spot, because they, despite on paper this team not looking good, because they kept them together for so long instead of subbing them out all the time like TSM.
Sean, it's a domino effect, right? The reason I say that it matters is because what's happening, other regions are getting, people are more fans of anyone's Legends than probably some of the teams right now that have big money in LCS. So winning does matter. Showing up at the world, because if you show up at Worlds, you get fans. Just like how LNG probably has fans, even though they're not doing too good, right? That's how they're not doing too good right now. They're 6 and 7, but that's because.
But how will TSM get to that point if they keep subbing them out?
I don't think TSM's gonna get. I think
this is just a wash year for them.
This is I think they need like at least 2 years. They need to start from the top.
Yeah, because we talked about this last year, and I think. Yeah, we talked about this last year, the year before that, when I first had you guys on the show. We also said if Bjergsen eventually leaves, which he eventually did, they were gonna go through this phase regardless if he retires permanently from League or he goes to a different org. They were eventually gonna go through this. And then what also didn't help is Reginald's bullshit, all the other people in the org leaving, them bringing in brand new people, brand new everything essentially for this org.
Right, and they're cutting corners on players, and like you said, not giving them a chance. I'm talking about, like, I'm not saying that CLG is going to be top, like, it didn't do something right? What I'm saying is
he's pretty bad and sensitive. Yeah, he's pretty awful.
What I'm saying is that, think about it this way, Sean. They're gonna do well, but I don't think I could root for CLG if they made it to Worlds. Like, yes, they're gonna do, like, doing well in NA means jack shit. Like, let's be honest about it.
But that's the thing with CLG. You're saying Worlds. Can they get past the first round of the playoffs ever?
How do you know they could? Like, what do you mean? FlyQuest, they surprised that one game, even though it didn't matter against top esports.
Okay, big difference.
If CLG does something like that, goes like 3-3, or doesn't choke like FlyQuest or Team Liquid did with some of the weaker teams. It goes like 4-2. Like you never know it unless you get there, and TSM won't get there if they keep subbing them out.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about an NA based team. Like any NA team that has done well at Worlds, and let's keep it 100, like K-Dots would say, is a mixed team. C9's was a mixed team. EG did well this year because they're a mixed team of EU, NA, and young talent. No, what even I guess you could say that fluke here with CLG in 2016 at MSI, but who did they beat? No offense, they beat Flash Wolves. Okay, great, but Flash Wolves had a reputation at that time.
I mean, was it really that mixed? Like in 2018, like I'm trying to.
2018.
Yeah, it's like
that's Team Liquid when they were facing.
Because listen, even though Jensen's European, he literally played here his whole career. Like you could pass it off as.
Well, you said 2018. 2018 they had Cobelter.
No, I said 2016.
2016. That's when CLG went to MSI.
Yeah, that was like the only
teams in general in NA.
No. I'm talking about a mostly NA team. That's like that. CLG.
Yes, and I'm saying, what about Cloud9? Like, what do you mean?
Well, most of the time, like, yes, I'm talking about. Well, I consider Impact. Okay, Impact and Jensen are mostly NA, but they are way above the cut over, say, Dokla and I forgot his name. Palafox. That's who's in the middle.
Yeah.
Palafox. That they're way above the cut. They've shown that, like, and like even Jojo Peon showed potential from Academy, and even at MSI. Like, think about this, right? At MSI, he did the one thing that Bjergsen couldn't do. He beat T1. Like, you can't take it away from that kid right now. I don't see Palafox beating as a team like a T1, and that's what I'm saying.
Through like they do. I mean, anything's possible at that point.
Anything's possible. Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that.
This is my thing with CLG. I don't think they're making Worlds. Let's talk about this. Let's scale it down for CLG. Let's say playoffs. Let's say they play a team up. Let's say they play FlyQuest. Given how FlyQuest has been picking up steam, could CLG realistically make it past the first round of playoffs?
I mean, they could. I mean, that's plausible, definitely with FlyQuest, but they're not favored.
A better question: as NA fans, let's say take away team allegiances. Would you want CLG going to Worlds or MSI event?
Yes.
Yeah. I really don't. I don't get like what you're. I'm so confused with what you're trying to say.
My point is that a full NA team is just going to be good in LCS. That's it.
Who's talking about a full NA?
They're not going to get. And they're not.
We started with TSM. We started with
CLG. I brought up the point, which is that you're never gonna be in a proper rebuild and gain chemistry and eventually be a good team.
Right, but you used an org that. My point is you're using an org that's not going to amount to anything. That is my point.
First, you never know that quite, but no, I was just giving a small example where where on paper they look like a 9th place team, but they're getting look top like number 5 right now, Sean, because of what they've done.
Respectfully, if you use 100 Thieves, you got me in the argument, because they had a shit start at 2018 and they did a full rebuild, and look where they are.
I wouldn't say a full rebuild. They just signed a bunch of fucking players.
They did. Come on, Sean. Don't cap.
They waited for someday to get his green card so they could get a roster like this. They did do that.
It's at least a 4-year rebuild, because they had.
What do you mean? They just signed a bunch of proven players and then imported Abadog. I don't know what you mean.
It's still a rebuild.
They literally had to wait for somebody to get his green card. Right. He would count as an import.
And remember, they had DeMonte. They had DeMonte in the mid lane. They had.
I would say they did rebuild earlier last year.
Come on, Sean. Yeah. Don't cap.
It's not quote unquote a rebuild. It's just building up a new team. It's just building a new team, not quote unquote a rebuild.
What's a
2020?
They just signed a new roster and kept some old face.
They kept one new face.
They kept one. Someday that team is nothing of what they were before. remember, FBI wasn't even on that team.
I mean, they just signed the Golden Guardians roster and then just had Old Man Someday and then imported another fucking import.
And they
that's
got
not a rebuild.
But they couldn't have got that import.
That's not a rebuild. That's building a fucking team that could have been that was looking like a super team on Golden Guardians until it collapsed.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Look where 100 Thieves started, and look where they are. They started small. They came out and they not started small. They were building. They've been building and building and building since they've been in the org. CLG has regressed, and they're still with players that they have. That is my point. And they did rebuild because they did garbage in Worlds. So like, I'm not even talking about this year. The year before, in 2018, they did bad, and then like they did bad at Worlds twice.
We've been going from just last year, 100 Thieves just from last year. They had that was when they had Ryoma, but the previous year they brought in. I remember they had
Ryu. Like, come on, man! Like, are we being funny right now?
I don't know what you're saying. I'm talking about rebuild as in like going less for just the money, signing the best players in the league, like the Golden Guardians.
Well, you have to use money, like.
Oh my god, I'm saying doing like what CLG, what TSM's trying to do, what Cloud9 did in 2018, and done other times, what 100 Thieves tried doing in 2019 or whatever. That's what I'm talking about by rebuild. But if you want to go the other route, sure. But I'm not talking about that. But either way, that wasn't a rebuild. I was just signing a new roster from another org. But
okay.
Either way, my point I was making is just that what TSM, just what their goal is trying to do is just build up new talent and gain chemistry and try to make for a push eventually or surprise people like CLG's doing. But you're not going to do that if you keep breaking up the chemistry. And then the other point you made is that there's never a team that's like almost fully NA that does any more than like every fucking team that's done anything international for us is like basically an NA team. All the Cloud9 rosters basically besides like 2017 CLG, those have been always the best. I'm not counting fucking TSM that, but even then I think they were like almost all NA as well basically. So I mean I don't know what you're saying there, Ryder.
This is my thing. I don't think TSM are trying to do anything this year.
That's my point. They're just trying to keep their spot.
I'm not saying we know that. I'm just saying if you want to at least try to do the minimum of what they said, then you accomplish that is just keeping the players together more instead of swapping them out.
And I agree with you. That's where I agree. And I also said, think of the region that we're in. Like I even prefaced by saying any NA team outside of small markets, they want instant, and I'm talking global sports, including esports. They want instant gratification. Like
will this happen?
Like think about anyone's legend.
That ain't happening, man. All right.
Like Sean, think about anyone's legend, right? That team was caca the last couple of years.
What do you mean? That was the best org.
And now, they still been playing the same style. But guess what they did? What you're saying. They kept the players and continued to play their style and fine-tune it, and now they're at least.
But that's the thing, though. I don't think TSM are doing that. What TSM is doing is they're literally there's holes in their wall, and they're just patching that shit up as best they can. That's
and they're being cheap. They have money, but they're being cheap. Like
they're being more results based. They're probably basing this all off of just LCS games. They're not basing this off scrims.
Yeah,
because if they're basing this off scrims, they would have already swapped out. First of all, if they're basing it off scrims, you would have already chosen solo anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's proven to come in and always play well.
Everybody said that they were going to swap Soul out if he played bad. He played bad. They swapped him out. Man, what was that feature on my meme? I'm shocked. Not really shocked.
No, it's like shocked. It pretends to be surprised.
Pretends to be We need to get that. We need to get that meme.
Sean, what I'm saying is, regardless if it's CLG or TL, because it's our continent. They don't. We don't do the homegrown. Stay with our players and build them up. Outside of, you can say Cloud9 because they do get a lot. They do homegrown their players through academy, right? And they know.
Like honestly, how you pronounce his name? Their jungler and academy is playing so well. Honestly, they should just swap him out for Blabber for 2 games. See how it goes with how Blabber is doing.
TSM got solo top. You know the deal. It's
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
but
no,
this is just
MSK will never end up on the roster, man. His Shin will end up on there before him.
Oh, but this is my thing. Is like TSM played egregiously like poor this past week. Like it was really bad, you know. And then my thing here with the TSM roster this year is they keep not just swapping players out. It's just like, what are they trying to get out of this year?
I don't know. And it's like, why don't they have their amateur team or whatever like before? Why don't they do what 100 Thieves that, like with Academy and Next are doing with these young? Like they used to be doing that, and with players like Sora, they aren't anymore, and I don't understand why.
Like you could tell Soul was not ready for the LCS. I'll be honest here, I didn't think it was that good, honestly.
And honestly, Takeover was playing pretty.
About him, but
Takeover, like obviously, Makeable's an upgrade, and he's been playing great, especially under the circumstances. But I mean, if you really want to do that, Takeover is playing solid and growing more and more, and then you just after a good start in LCS, you just put him back in Academy for fucking like a 25-year-old Maple, even though you're not going to do shit this year. So I don't give.
I thought the roster they had toward the end of spring was actually kind of picking up steam. It was just they had lost so many games already, it wasn't going to matter. You know what I mean? So
yeah, like honestly, I think a team like TSM would honestly do better if they literally just bought all of like 100 Thieves Academy or Team Liquid Academy and just started them in LCS. Like that, like 100 Thieves. Have you looked at their new jungler, Will? I mean, he's been fucking on fire. Like they could easily sub him in if Speaka's leaving.
Like anyone who watched the C9 TSM game last week could fucking tell you that Soul was not ready for the LCS. I was like, he's pretty bad still. Like I was like, this is the guy who his lane in and
stuff.
yeah, those Gnar ultimates he was trying to do.
Yeah, but there was definitely some things you could see in his gameplay. But I mean, I definitely just think he'll be like another.
Wasn't ready for the LCS. That's just kind of where I was at with him. I was like, he's just making way too many mistakes. And it's not his fault. He was thrown into a situation where you can't really thrive. It's literally you're getting thrown into the deep end with a bunch of sharks. You're a fucking legend.
I mean, eventually you will have to try to give a player a couple of games and see if they have what it takes. Like they did that with CLG finally did that after like 4 years in Academy with Tuesday, and now he was complete fucking trash. Worse, like Academy mid laner. They did that with like Deuce or RJS.
Yeah, they wasted. Yeah, CLG wasted. Tuesday was in Academy when I was watching Challengers. Like when I was watching Challengers consistently back when they had that. Tuesday had been on CLG's Academy roster for like years, like literally years.
Yeah, honestly, he never had much. But he was always like a bottom tier mid laner. Honestly, he never had any potential, but they kept him for like 4 years on their Academy team for God knows reason. Just like how that EU regional team has kept Ica on their squad for like 8 fucking years.
8 years
for some reason, and they're about to like win the title with him. But Jesus Christ, I just really don't get it. But also, and I lost my train of thought. What was I thinking?
Thinking about hacking up that girl you did before we started the show.
What the fuck are you? No, I already did that. That's why I was busy. That's why I was 8 minutes late. You don't have any sponsors. Go fuck yourself.
We are sponsored. Hey, Cloud9, thank you for upvoting this show on Reddit.
Oh, right. I forgot. They keep oops. I should probably tone down my edge. Obviously, we're joking. I mean, I'm joking, obviously. All right. We should probably tone down those jokes if they're actually doing that.
Fucking mother sucker. So, Soul requests return to TSM Academy. Solo steps in as team's new LCS top laner. So, yeah, like to nobody's surprise, Solo is going to be TSM's newest LCS top laner. So, Huni steps down. Solo comes in for 4 games. Then Solo comes in. It's like a rotating, revolving door of TSM players.
I mean, I wonder if that will benefit Instinct or if they sub Tactical back in to then focus all their time.
Who was Instinct support? I forget the guy's name. The new one they're playing. Oh, Chime. If Instinct and Chime play bad within these last 2 weeks, these last spam of games, they're gonna put back Tactical.
Yeah, I mean, Chime is just another Soligo situation where a team finally gives him a chance when he started playing like shit in Academy and LCS. When the previous years he looked great, but despite that, he's still looking all right. But I mean, I still don't think. Yeah, he'll be subbed out soon, I'm sure. Well, by the end of the year, he'll definitely be released.
I mean, let's be honest right now. With the way playoffs is, right? TSM can if they can somehow,
some way,
with the grace of God, with maybe buying some hookers for these players to motivate them, because Solo's about to hit 30. He's 29.
They're 8th place right now.
We have to bring up what Dignitas is doing in the jungle, unless it's just an
error we have it later
on.
Yeah, we got it.
That is weird. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it actually surprised me too.
The dude literally been in their org for fucking a week, and he's 17.
Dude, literally, they did this last year too. What?
Acadian was a veteran though, and has been in their org for a year and a half. That this guy literally they signed a week ago some shit. And he's 17. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, TSM. All I was gonna say is with the way the playoffs are set up for NA, TSM can legitimately, if they just fix whatever they have and they can squeak into playoffs.
With how Golden Guardians and Dignitas are playing, Immortals has actually proved them, and TSM could actually make it in now.
Immortals, I'm not gonna lie, they've actually kind of picked it up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like their team's gaining more chemistry now, because remember they were the team wasn't together in spring, so it seems like they're more
with Power of Evil when he first got back.
Yeah, so it's more like they know more what they want playing as a team more now.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely weren't before.
Oh, I have a question.
Michael?
When did you guys do LEC?
Yesterday.
We did yesterday.
And you didn't?
Yeah, it's Wednesday and Thursday for these now.
Hey, see, this motherfucker didn't, because he knew I would have said something about Astralis, you piece of shit. No.
Astralis is horrible. What are you talking about? What the fuck?
How the fuck? Not to diverge, chat, but how is Astralis horrible when they literally?
You mean the games that were saved just by Kabe? They were literally saved by Kabe.
They're not
out of his mind.
They're not horrible, but they're not good either. But it's mainly Vizichachi who's horrible.
Are you gonna bat for Vizichachi and Xerxes this past week?
Oh yeah, Vizichachi is fire.
Bro, Xerxes is fine. If they had, put it this way: if they had Aggressivo, for instance, instead of Vizichachi, guarantee you they're fifth. They're fifth because he's better. Xerxes has been fine. The whole team's been fine. It's just Vizichachi, and So and they're making playoffs.
Oh, but yeah, I have to tell you, yeah, we split up the episode. So if I have to go see a movie on Thursday, then we'll just have the LEC episode on Tuesday, and we have the LCS Wednesday. But normally be Wednesday, Thursdays for LEC first.
Thursday is usually when I go see films and work with a friend if I do. So
Sean means friends that he goes out and has.
Sorry. Hey Tony.
You mean when I go find people and then tie them up and?
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
this guy's fucking the wrong. You're good, man.
Sorry for diverging, but yes, they're 5-6, so they're way better than last season. Thank you.
Oh great, making progress.
Oh yeah.
Soul Request return to TSM Academy. Solo steps in as team's new LCS top laner. All right, so. Let's go.
Where's the real statement? Soul was ruining our, LCS team and you didn't get rid of him. Jesus.
Also, if you guys are watching the show live, make sure you guys hit the like button. That's all I ask for. Make sure you guys...
quickly though, Warren, Xerxes is kind of, again, he played solid at the start, but now he's dropping off a bit, playing just decent, and this is what happens with him every year. He plays good at the start and then slowly drops off from there, but whatever, we'll see. Anyway, continue, sorry. Yeah, make sure to like and sub.
Yeah, like and sub.
Yeah, if you're watching live. Also, if you're watching live, just make sure you guys talk to us. We obviously bite.
Yeah, we ask any questions. Oh, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah, Sean just yells at you if you talk to him. This man's actually insane. This man's got this part of his body where he's just basically half the Joker, half something else, and the Joker personality just takes over consistently.
Well, no. If I turned on my cam, that Bohemian Rhapsody video with the faces in the dark, that's basically me because my room's so dark.
Although many LCS fans are already embracing him as a member of the league's new era, TSM's rookie Soul has decided to return to TSM's academy team to continue his development as a professional League of Legends player.
Okay, I really want to. Which many fans are they talking about? I really want to know.
The team said it was a mutual decision that stemmed from Soul's desire to accelerate his growth as an LCS-ready talent. Because if you guys didn't know this, Soul was not academy, the below the amateur, basically amateur thrown into the LCS. That is pretty much never going to work out. Just saying, you're going to get absolutely destroyed.
Hey,
going
what are
through
you
that kind of
talking
way.
about, man? That worked out so well for Deuce.
As a result, veteran Solo will be taking his place in the top lane, making TSM the 6th LCS team he has played for in his lengthy career. And this was their Twitter post. They said, LCS roster update. After deep conversation with Sol, we have come to the mutual decision of moving him back to the academy team for the remainder of the split. Then why not just start Soul though? Like, why not just start Solo then? These names are a little confusing sometimes. Soul, Solo. Why not just start Solo then? Everybody said this. You're just gonna put in Solo anyway. Please support Soul in his decision and join us in welcoming Solo as our starting top laner for the summer split.
Well, the reason why is, again, they probably wanted they want to try everyone out, I bet, but also, it's the same thing with 100 Thieves with players like fucking Ryoma that one year. They just want to throw a coin in a well, see, maybe the 0.001% chance it pays off. Hey, you never know.
On the team subreddit, TSM's league assistant general manager, Glenn Yang, explained that the coaching staff wanted Seoul to use the remainder of the 2022 LCS summer split to gain experience at the region's top level. But the prospect said he wants TSM to make playoffs just as much as the fans. According to Seoul, at his current level, he believes he couldn't deliver that goal and decided to return to academy to hone his skills while giving the team a better chance. It is a sad ending to his first season in the LCS, but a respectable decision.
Yeah, and see, this is what we were talking about with the pressure with TSM. This is why you can't really do that.
Yeah, this is just an NA thing, but I agree with you, Sean. And
yeah,
K for Polo, I'm happy Parth is not there. Like, not because Parth is a bad person. Sometimes you just need to let go of people and start a new thing. You can't that's like, I'm trying to think of a team that held on. Like, imagine who would have thought in a while that Reckless would have ever left Fnatic, right? Sometimes people just have to go. And I'm not saying Parth is a bad person, and I'm not saying it's the best either. But sometimes you just need to let people go and just start new. And Bjergsen had a thing for Parth. No offense. So
yeah, no. So I am so baffled that you kept Peter Zane around for that long. He was utter shit.
And Peter Zane also brought controversy and messed up players too.
What did he ever do? He was just pure garbage. Jesus Christ. He's like a bootleg Peter Dunn.
And here was what Soul had said on Reddit. Management fully gave me the option to continue playing, but I want TSM to make playoffs as much as you guys do. And with my current performance, we'd have a higher chance without me. Thanks for the support, guys. Loved being able to play and even getting a dub on stage for y'all. I will be back. Well, I hope you'll be back. I mean, sometimes when players go back to academy, dude, you just stay there, I hope you'll be able to come back and play, honestly. TSM had put out the whole thing on their subreddit, and you guys know I just live off the TSM subreddit, holy fuck. This is so crazy. But yeah, that was it. Solo replaces Soul this week. So will that make TSM's chances better of winning games this week? I don't know, honestly. They look pretty fucking bad this past week, really, really bad. So I don't know.
I think so. I think, like I said, Solo is like Kikis in a sense that he comes into a team and he does what he needs to do to get them where, when Kikis, before Kikis went back to, I don't know, I guess grinding and
back to
now
Netherlands.
Now he's in EU Masters in the lower levels, but he's like that. So I think they can. I think and with his veteran leadership, I think possibly they can get the 8th or 7th spot with him now. So we may see Tactical come back as well. So, but am I still going to root for TSM? Yes, guys. No matter what, I am still a TSM fan. No matter, I am not a front runner. I'm not a bandwagon. So all my haters out there, you can still suck my asshole.
That sounds great. Hell yeah. So the next piece of TSM news isn't even regarding their roster decisions. It's actually regarding them considering selling their LCS slot. This was reported by Richard Lewis, actually. It was coming off of this Dexterdo.com. So, TSM recently considered selling their LCS slot. So, we haven't really talked much about this. I think I'll give more credence to this, like potentially later on in this episode or next week's episode when we cover the LCS, is what are like some of these teams getting out of this franchise system of the LCS? Like these teams invested in a lot of money. We've seen orgs just kind of come in and sit at the bottom, not TSM obviously, and then sell their slots. Do people really think SK Gaming is going to be in the LEC for a few more years? I don't know.
I mean, Misfits just recently sold, so
yeah, like Astralis was rumored to be selling their slot too.
I don't see Astralis, so I'm sorry, not.
Okay, not only would this be bad for TSM, bad for LCS. Holy fuck!
So it just goes to show you how dedicated they really are to their LCS, like their actual League of Legends fans, where they first got their conception. It's like what they would consider selling their LCS slot, but this is how TSM was formed. TSM comes from League of Legends before anything else they have now.
Well, they want to join LEC, but again, that would. I'm sorry, not only would that just be bad for LCS, bad for TSM, and a fucking cowardly fucking bitch move to try to do better internationally because now you're in LEC, but it's not going to work out most definitely. It's just going to be like an SK Gaming or Astralis thing with them.
Well, Sean, maybe rumor has it, I think it was rumors that Misfits might want to come back to NA, and I could see that happening, and Misfits takes the slot of, say, TSM. That's a possibility. Now, me, I'm still gonna root for the team. I don't care. But does it really matter? I mean, before there was a CLG EU before,
my thing here is if TSM actually considered doing this, because this is the thing with these discussions that end up happening, dude. Is that these were actual probably conversations. Something came down the line of where they just decided against it. Maybe it was stuff you guys said, maybe like the backlash of it is something they're afraid of. I truly don't think orgs really care about that backlash they get on Twitter and Reddit. I truly don't think they care about that shit. But something happened to the point where they were like, I just can't pull the trigger on this, Now, if TSM wanted to join the LEC, I wouldn't say they just would downright fail. I mean, I don't know about that.
I think they would do better because they would.
I can't predict the future, but
I think because they would probably take talent from the ERLs for one, and I know they still talk with Loco, so he could even grab a Korean player like
the only thing that it might not pan out for is the infrastructure. It's never been sometimes even about the TSM players themselves. It's about the infrastructure around them, the coaching staff, how they're actually managing some of the players. Some of the pieces that TSM even brought out this year, I thought were pretty questionable too in terms of their actual roster, construction.
Yeah, but again, it's gonna. I think a shift. I think it would matter more because let's be honest, the viewership is higher on.
It makes sense though. And it feels more like a family in the LEC. The LEC has interviews with the players and stuff like that. It feels like they're actually a part of what's going on. When it happens to the LCS, these guys just feel like that shit is so forced. It's not.
No, they feel like it's family in LEC and coworkers in LCS.
LCS, yeah.
Outside of maybe Flowers and Azale.
Yeah, because that's what it feels like. You know how the LEC do their little pop quizzes? We don't have anything like that for our players here. What do they have? High had that segment where he was having the pro thing going on.
We do that on the analysis table. They have pop quizzes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's what it kind of feels like. TSM has been really critical of the LCS. The LCS has given TSM a lot of leeway and a lot of shit. So I don't know what TSM's got here thinking. You've gotten away with a lot of shit over these past couple of years. So I don't know.
I just hate this. You fail so badly in NA, you have to try to go to a better region to have any success. That is the most limp dick shit ever.
Not really, Sean.
I don't care. I know I'm memeing a bit, but
no, it's whatever. Not meme. I get what you're saying. It's like people would say the Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Movie.
But look, I just think this is I think they'll have more success in LEC, yeah, but I don't think it's going to be much. Way, right?
The solo queue is better. Like, hands down, the solo queue is better. They don't need a champions queue, like, because the solo queues, the scrims are better. Are going to probably be better.
The competition is better.
Think about this. We've had Finn has gone back, Niski has gone back, and I think a third player has gone from NA back to, and they've Perks. Treats, Perks, Niski, Finn.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that off season all those players went back, like Treats and stuff. More players from LCS went back there than LEC to LCS, and people talk about NA importing EU players. Like, I know they're EU, but still, whatever. It's just funny.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. That, like, think about that way. That, like, Niski's performing pretty well on that. I'm not trying to divert from the stream. I'm just talking about players that were here in NA and they went back. So I think the structure is better over there. I think they probably might start off as a BDS, but like, people forget. And I love the
TSM actually has money to throw out players too. And this is what would also separate them and put them maybe in the category of G2 and Fnatic. They actually have money to spend on players. That's the difference with them.
Yeah, like,
think
about it this way. Because I was trying to think. You'll have to go because I forgot what I was going to say.
No, you're fine. It's just they're not obviously, guys. Now this is not going to happen. They obviously considered against it. But if TSM did lead the LCS, let's just say in a hypothetical world they did. I got laid. I have a wife now. Hypothetical world, right? Would that do a big number on the LCS viewership? Remember, the LCS viewership, when you watch it on YouTube, it peaks at like 25,000 people. That's when peaking.
First off, the means of like TSM versus Rogue is solved right there, and like TSM versus Fnatic or G2.
TSM versus Fnatic. Like,
no, I'm staying off of any social media during Fnatic and TSM.
Oh my god!
Now it came back to me. So far we had Treats. SK was on a win streak, and then they, I don't know what happened. They actually shut up. So Treats came back. He needs a different team, even though I love SK.
I probably did.
Xerxes came back. He's been doing pretty well, but he's, like you said, Sean, he's kind of like being stagnant and declining. Mm-hmm. Perks came back, and he's been actually performing well. It's the people around him. Broken Blade's been a little bit, but up in spring he was performing well, right? Mm-hmm. And Niski has been fine. So like,
this Cody's son has been dominating the regional.
Yeah, like so like people don't understand. I'm telling, like, I've been saying it. I'm sure you guys have been saying it. The solo queue and the structure matters. Like, the players just play differently. Like,
dude, Double F even asked Niski on Double F's weird podcast that he has called Trash Talk. He asked Niski, "Would you ever come back to the LCS?" He was like, "No." You know, I don't know. Like, but the thing with the LEC, if they actually got TSM, the amount of rivalries you could build out of that.
TSM Fnatic.
TSM versus Fnatic. That no one's gonna tell me any shit. That would be hype. That would actually be hype.
But no, unironically, though, Cody's son's actually been doing pretty great considering the dog shit team he's on.
Can you imagine TSM versus G2? Oh Lord. I don't want to be on social media those
if
days.
TSM actually did this, would you think they would like maybe try to bring over like one NA talent with them?
They'd probably bring over Speaker.
Speaker. When there's plenty of better junglers you could probably pick from, they would take Speaker.
I think if Speaker was in LEC, he'd be a good jungler.
Again, I seriously don't understand like why EU teams have never considered ever try importing certain players like Vulcan.
Because they're cheap.
They actually are cheap.
Out of a few orgs, like people think, I know you guys meme at Astralis, but I think people don't realize when, and I'm not trying to diverse the street, Astralis flies their players on a private jet to go from Denmark to Berlin. Like, legit a private
imagine doing that for fucking Promise Q. I'm done.
Yeah, like they did that for Promise Q. Like, think about that. So, and their facility is huge. But like, I agree with you, Sean. I think they should, like, because we've seen
You know,
You've seen players get better.
The only time I've ever heard a team consider that was with Niles before he was ruined by Golden Guardians.
Oh, Lord. So my thing here is, like, I think fans of the LCS will be really mad at this, but this isn't the worst thing. And we've seen them. We literally see them on Twitter. I know you guys see these tweets like I do. These guys literally, like, poke the bear at the LCS consistently. They've downright shitted on it, you know? So this is not surprising to me that they would want to sell their slot. North American League of Legends powerhouse TSM recently explored the potential of selling their franchise slot in the LCS League. Sources have informed Dexerto. According to sources familiar with TSM's business dealings, the discussions were driven by a number of factors that included reducing costs of TSM's esports projections, the level of competition in the North American region, and the decline in popularity of North American League of Legends as a whole. Whew. But the fact that Richard listed these from those sources he had, these are probably the main ones. So the main one they listed right here, reducing costs of TSM's esport projects, because things cost massively cheaper in Europe compared to, you know, North America. That's
just like Canada, you know, because it's tax.
Gross, Canada. The level of competition in the North American region. So that's number 2. The level of competition here is just bad. Like Warren said, it's just really bad here, honestly. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Takuli being pretty much like the best mid laner, that's saying something. I
wouldn't say he is anymore, but again, the mid laners were a shit show in spring. He was not the best in spring. It's just we gave our rankings just the most valuable to their team because it was such a shit show. It was impossible to differentiate them. Now that we can do that a bit, I mean, I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's definitely still up there. Games, like, I wouldn't say Jensen's the best either or Beerson.
I would probably have him as first, honestly. I don't think he's had a bad game. Like all this split so far. Yeah. That's just me. The decline in popularity of North American League of Legends as a whole. But this is a really not disingenuous. There's different factors with this one. These other two I could get behind like 100%, but this one has a bit of different factors to it. But this one it's not like out of the realm possibility. The discussions were also largely driven by the possibility of acquiring the recently sold Misfits franchise slot in Riot's European LEC League. A source familiar with that deal stated that TSM made some preliminary inquiries about how much it would cost before Heretics completed the deal for a reported $45 to $50 million fee. Holy fuck.
And I am whatever. I'm still pissed off Misfits is actually leaving now. That's just saddened. But I mean, again, if TSM did that, just all the fucking history of NA. Imagine we're not going to get Cloud9 versus TSM ever again in LCS.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, even with the LCS, like, I wish, I mean, the reporting right here is fine, but I wish they had put, like, something with the LCS broadcast too. Like, why don't we get those little videos of Cloud9 versus TSM's rivalry? That was literally the Lakers
it's like they kind of killed the Riot. Like, they didn't do anything to like revamp the Riot. Like, the last time they did was around it was the one time like Cloud9 beat them in like playoffs or something. It was like, I believe 2020 spring or something.
Yeah, when they had that legacy Cloud9 TSM rivalry video.
I know, the one where just they were like quickly going over the history and when they brought Bjergsen over and everything, and just and then Cloud9 won, and then the next year TSM beat them, but we're not talking about that because that was the rigged double of shit.
Like, people, if you've been watching the league, you already know C9 versus TSM. That's literally Lakers versus Celtics right there. Yankees versus Red Sox, right? Not Red Sox. Red Sox.
It's like I get that like TSM is in this state, and then also Cloud9 had
not getting the best this year
as well, and same thing with last year. But still, even then, it's
always a hyped matchup, no matter when they're facing. It's always hype behind it.
Like, they still always do that with, like, they're still doing it with Fnatic and teams, even though how they're playing. Like, you still try to push that.
Even G2 versus Fnatic, that's still very hype, even though Fnatic's been, G2 and Fnatic have been pretty much in the shitter for a bit. Also, the other thing, like last split when Cloud9 were falling apart, TSM with their not really good roster beat them. This past split, we just had C9 beat the shit out of them. next match, like it's something with these rivalries that don't get pushed either. But that's just me. That's one of my things. I was thinking about that when I was walking
it's
home.
Like they did not push that TSM versus Cloud9 regional thing last year at all, even though it was winner makes fucking worlds, and it was a best 5-game series, and Lost got that double kill but did nothing with it. But still, so it was like, oh, TSM might win now. So it was fucking pretty like close, extremely close there, but they did not advertise it at all beforehand, that series, and with the legacy, and they barely did so in the games and afterwards. It's like, why would they
broadcast is garbage and donkey.
Don't you talk about Emily like that? I love my white women.
But also,
you mean that scarecrow? Stop it!
Oh Lord!
Jesus,
oh God!
It was that one guy again, Riv or something. The guy with like the gray hair. Yeah, it's like I would say you can also put him with like a Zale sort of, even though he's not.
What happened
really
to Primal
anymore? Primal.
He went to go do different things. That's all he said.
Yeah, that's sad.
Whatever different things implies, I don't know what that implies.
MSK, please, Cloud9, upvoted your thing. Don't make a racist joke.
I didn't say anything.
I know. No, because I know in your mind, just like how you say the ramen eater jokes, you were thinking about saying, he was working on set of Black Panther or some shit like that. I knew in your mind you were about to fucking say that.
So
Wakanda forever.
Good God. Good. Okay, we're gonna all die. Chaz, you better get into League of Legends, you fucking sexy bastard. A second source who spoke to Dexerto on the condition of anonymity wanted to make it clear that TSM were not necessarily planning to exit from League of Legends, but merely that it made financial sense for TSM to look into the possibility of entering the European League if possible. TSM have made multiple headlines for their expensive foreign acquisitions, most notably the record-breaking deal for Taiwanese support Sword Art, actually. So, but this is the thing. Those Forbes articles that value these orgs at just ridiculous numbers, actually. If TSM is a $400 million valued organization, why would it make financial sense for them, if any, to go be a part of Europe? If you're worth that much, it's like I'm not saying
save money. You save money. That's just a business move.
Yeah, you're right. But it's
they're only valued like that because of fucking Fortnite and streamers are garbage and everything else for the last 6 years.
Oh my God, Chaz, I speak facts here.
Their other esports does well. Like I think
their Rainbow Six League is actually pretty good. Actually,
their Smash Brothers is good.
Okay, but that's Leffen, so we don't talk about that.
Leffen, leave my boy Leffen alone.
Fuck off.
But that's why. So, honestly, here's what they should do, and I think you guys would agree with me. I think LCS should just say, you know what, teams, we're gonna park our asses over in EU for the whole year or whatever, and or just go over to EU and get rid of it. Get rid of NA. Just go over to EU.
Don't tell me that. That hurts my soul.
I mean, because let's be honest, there's literally only 5 teams people really care about.
I mean, that's gonna be any league though. That's
no, come on, man. Stop that right now. There's more probably RA fans right now than CLG fans. Let's stop.
What I'm talking about is like even in traditional sports, there's always teams people don't care about though. You know? It has also been widely accepted for some time that the LCS viewership has been in free fall, especially when compared to its European counterpart, the LEC. Using metrics collated by website Esports Chart, the spring split, which ended in April, saw LCS viewership peak at 387,000 viewers, while LEC almost doubled that amount with 723,000. The average viewership makes for an even sorrier reading, with the LCS achieving only 123,411 viewers compared to the LEC's 270,749. I mean, this is the thing. That's not a bad number though. I don't look at these numbers and go, that's bad. I mean, that is kind of bad compared to what it used to be. You know, but factor in because I know people were using this metric for like finals, right?
That's bad. That's half.
If you're
that's
using
more than half. That's bad. Stop.
But this is the thing. I think what you have when you look at this is LCS performance at Worlds, like we mentioned.
That's
new
what I'm
teams
saying.
in the finals.
But that's what I'm saying. They need to win in order to get fan base. If you're not winning and you're okay, like at the end of the day, right?
Hi.
EU will send a team, and at least one team, one team is getting into groups. That's a guarantee, right? NA, we pray to the stars, and we're like, you know what, Time Stone, I hope out of the 14 million, we can finally have one team that makes it out. Who wants to have those odds every year as an NA fan? Nobody. So it's easier for a fan to say, hey, let me root for, say, I don't know, Vitality making Worlds and doing something than rooting for, I guess I'll have to use TSM because they're pretty dog at Worlds. Like, why'd you do that?
All right. However, there could be more to this than meets the eye. One of the sources that confirmed the discussions also added that there was a feeling among TSM executives that the esports program needed to be streamlined amid spiraling costs. TSM are currently cutting budgets everywhere in esports, the source said. They will likely sell other parts of their esports division in the near future. This was tempered by a third source who also spoke to us on the condition of anonymity, who stated that while these discussions had indeed taken place, they were just part of a number of ideas that the organization was exploring in a bid to stay at the top of their field, but that no formal moves had been made in this decision. So TSM having money issues, TSM having money issues, that is pretty crazy. So yeah, that wraps it up for our TSM discussion. Now moving on to Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians acquires star jungler River from LCS rivals Dignitas. I wouldn't really put River as a star jungler. I mean, he was middle of the pack at best. I mean, he really only played like Jarvan.
He was like 8 for 9. He basically just played Jarvan. Like again, for like a minor region or whatnot, like pick up for like an underrated pick for like a low tier LCS team. It was good. He's a solid jungler, but again, with the rest of the pack, he was still bottom tier, just like other junglers like that. Just like Xerxes say when people are like, yeah, he's pretty underrated. It's actually pretty good. Yes, but compare him to the rest. Like, Jesus Christ.
All right. So.
And that's the problem with Dignitas. That's their whole team pretty much.
Right here starts Golden Guardians have acquired star Korean jungler River in a mid-season trade deal with LCS rivals Dignitas, according to the League of Legends Global Contract Database, which was updated on July 26. The org announced River's surprise trade soon after the update. Dignitas are expected to replace River with Academy jungler Zuyu? XU? Zoo. Also, yeah.
Wait. No. On
or
the okay,
Perry,
on the
wiki.
With the LCS org. Okay, well, on the wiki it says Perry, so that's why. And who's the 17-year-old who literally just signed? So I mean, if it's Xayu, then that would obviously make more sense. He's played a lot longer. He was in their academy system. I mean, he isn't very good, but I mean, he's decent.
No, I generally don't care for because both of them are so fucking bad that you can easily distinguish them. Zayu or Perry, who was just signed by the LCS org. Golden Guardians tweeted, "We're ready to make another run for LCS finals, and we're bringing in a little extra help to do so. Please join us in welcoming River to our LCS roster." Golden Guardians, you are never making the finals.
Wait. They okay. So is he starting over Pride Stalker?
Well, they will definitely do that.
Really?
I mean, dude, I watched Pride Stalker this last week. It's not going anywhere.
He's dropping off. Yes, and he just doesn't fit, and he plays too many like off meta champs. But still, I mean, River is literally the same deal, just Jarvan and just Jarvan 24/7 instead. Not both of them are pretty much like the same, just wouldn't work. I mean, Pride Stalker is at least a better player, so I mean, I would at least like I mean, they're keeping Pride Soccer around. Are they going to try both of them out in like scrims and stuff or something? Or
Dot Esports understands River will immediately step into the LCS starting lineup for Golden Guardians, who are challenging for playoffs. The squad sits in 7th place after 5 weeks of play in the 2022 LCS Summer Split. They trail Counterlogic Gaming and Cloud9, tied for 5th by 2 league victories. Pride Stalker will likely drop to Golden Guardians Academy. I mean, he's been playing really bad. Like, it makes sense.
It's better for the team. It's better for the team.
After this last week, after that Poppy game he had against Cloud9, I don't know, man. It depends on how you want to utilize him. You know, I think the way they wanted to utilize Pride Soccer, I don't think was actually happening, but it could be team dynamic. It could be a myriad of different things. But after this last week of gameplay on Poppy, you know, he's just so bad. Actually, he was just. He hadn't really been that good even in Spring Split. Like, he wasn't even good then. Like, I'm not surprised by this. He played pretty fucking bad on Golden Guardians. But I don't know. Is this gonna really change that much?
Oh yeah, over the top. I see him getting first place.
Okay. River joined Dignitas ahead of the 2022 LCS season. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm done." He played 36 games for the North American organization following his high-profile move from PSG Challenge and finished 7th with the team in spring after they slumped to an 8-10 record. The squad now sits dead last in summer with just 2 wins in 11 matches. With 7 more league games to be played in the second split of 2022, the best Dig can hope for is to finish with a 9-9 record, which could see them make top 8. The org appears to have pivoted its focus on next year. However, Golden Guardians, on the other hand, have scooped up an instant upgrade for the team that can only help their bid for a top 6 seeding heading into the summer playoffs. River has scored 4 player of the games since his Dig career began. Prior to his North American move, the 23-year-old was a key playmaker in PSG Talent's talented PCS lineup. The Taiwanese champions made it all the way to the 2021 midseason invitational semifinals before failing to eventual victors RNG in a 4-game series against the Chinese heavyweights. The PCS lineup struggled to bring the same fiery league play to the World Championship months later. However, and exited the crowning year and event in groups. So yeah, as you guys see right here, Golden Guardians have River now. Pride Stalker is going to Academy. I think that Pride Stalker had been really bad anyway. Honestly, he'd been griefing a lot of the games, running him down. He honestly never really had even a standout performance, honestly. River has had some standout performances and has had some plays around the map. You can kind of understand why you would want to have this guy over him. So that's just me personally, you know? And now we are going to end up wrapping up this discussion for this episode of the Cloud9 podcast, talking about the standings. So Dignitas are currently in 10th. You know, the best they can hope for is a 9-9 record to potentially get to 8th. But right now you have Immortals and TSM sitting right there. I mean, Dignitas have looked pretty bad like this past week, actually. Even the week before that. You know, now my thing here is like they were playing up against Cloud9, and Cloud9 were also not looking that good either. And I'll talk about them in just a moment. But yeah, Dig definitely could have won both their games against Cloud9, you know, this split, but definitely, you know, lost them, especially the way they lost in an embarrassing fashion when there was times in the game you could probably factor in they could have did something. But, you know, them bringing in new players pretty much dead last, you know, as they're placing right now, toward the end of the split. We'll have to see if it works out. I don't think it's going to really change much, but I personally think that they're just going to be 9th to 10th place when the season is all said and done. TSM, as you guys know, was bringing in Solo. They got completely eviscerated, you know, this past weekend, actually. So hopefully Solo can give this team that veteran presence-ship that it needs. But you also had Spica as a veteran presence too, but that really wasn't going anywhere. I mean, the macro decisions the team makes, they were just getting knocked all around this past week. It was embarrassing to see them play. actually. 100 Thieves just completely beat the shit out of them. And then you had IMT kind of moving up in the standings right now, picking up some momentum, actually. And then after that, you have Immortals, who are now have been picking up steam. They've been kind of making a lot more proactive plays on the map, though I don't think the team is still really anything good, despite their few wins they've gotten against, like, other top orgs in the league. Well, TSM not really a top org right now, but, what would probably set Immortals from getting to playoffs over Dignitas is Immortals actually has some key victories over some orgs that you probably don't want to face toward the end of the LCS 2020 summer split. We are going into like a super week, okay? So then after that, you have Golden Guardians, who are now going to end up bringing in, River now over Pride Stalker. Like, the fact that they still keep players like Stixay and around, even though he's been pretty just super underwhelming, is ridiculous. I think Golden Guardians have decent players and will most likely end out the split for the regular season at like 6th. I don't really personally think they're going to be doing anything in playoffs anyway. Yes, the move for getting River makes sense, and you definitely needed an upgrade in that position. I don't think it's big enough to really make that big of a change, actually, CLG, this past week, they ended up getting that upset over Team Liquid, and then they ended up losing in embarrassing fashion to CLG. CLG have been...
CLG lose to CLG?
Pretty much, actually. So, that's been my thing with CLG. Right now, they've been just inconsistently consistent. Like, Palafox had that really standout game on Azir where he just kind of ran all over Bjergsen. But some of these games that these CLG players have, like, they're so few far in between. That's why I have them as an inconsistently consistent team. Like, they definitely have good things about them that they do, but it's never anything super consistent to the point where you can consistently bank on that. Like, getting blown up by EG makes perfect sense based off the discrepancy in the standings between the teams, but then they can have a really good game against Team Liquid when no one is expecting them to win. So it seems like when you don't predict them to win, they do better. But when you think they're going to do very well against, another team that they already previously did well against, they kind of crumble. Because remember, 2 of the losses EG has, one comes from CLG and one comes from 100 Thieves. Now moving on to Cloud9. Cloud9 have actually been a team where, okay, I think they definitely have an idea of how they want to play the game. It's just really sloppy. Like, they look really shaky in the early game, and a lot of their early games don't really look that good, considering they have Jensen, Blabber, and Sven, who definitely want to do very well in the early game, actually. And my personal thing is, if they're having really shaky early games and shaky team fights against teams like Golden Guardians and teams like Dignitas, how's that going to look against a team like 100 Thieves or Evil Geniuses or a team like even Team Liquid, actually? Who's beat them? But I don't know.
BO1s are... Listen, Rogue is the king of BO1s, but they always seem to not win a championship, so...
BO1's all that matters,
Clearly.
So then, that's my team with Cloud9. I don't think Sven has been that good of a support player, But he's only really been on a few champions like Tom Kench, Yumi, and now this week he was on Nautilus, so...
And
I don't know, honestly.
This is his first... Remember, who he took, at least...
A split or two?
A split or two to establish himself, and we don't know what will happen with Sven after so this could be like a temporary thing, like Bippo and like say a Treats or like any other player that swaps. We don't know if this is permanent or we don't know, so we'll have to know by the end of the split, to be honest.
All right. After that, we have Team Liquid, who have been pretty underwhelming. I know Bwipo had a decent game on Gangplank, but that was only after, the early game. In the early game, Bwipo got destroyed. Bjergsen had a pretty uncharacteristically bad week, actually. Team Liquid ended up facing off against IMT, which looked pretty more close than it actually was, and they ended up losing to CLG. So Team Liquid, for the super team, have not really kind of been up to the expectations that most people have set. Yes.
Hansama is overrated.
Hell yeah. Why are you so thick?
What?
Yeah. I think he's good at a few champions. He has a decent laning phase, but he's not really been what Team Liquid have, initially got him for. Like, Team Liquid have overall, to me, been pretty much just kind of a letdown. This roster should easily dominate the league on paper, but they're running into the same problems as Fnatic's roster. Just a lot of the players just have so much of a different idea of how they want to play the game. It's just pretty much nothing I don't think they can personally fix right now, or maybe it's just the BO1 structure is the reason why it's not looking as good, but their record shows they're 7-4, but if you actually watch some of these games, they have not looked the best, honestly, this past split. FlyQuest were really good this past week. Normally, FlyQuest, have been a middle of the pack team for quite some time in the LCS, but going into like this split in particular, and even like some games in spring, they have looked really good. This past week, if you watch their games, they looked pretty solid. They even almost perfect gamed 100 Thieves last week, actually. So it's something here where their players actually are on the same page when they want to know how to play the game. I think Takuli, honestly, to me, has been the best mid laner in the league so far. I think Johnson and Aframu clearly want to make plays around the map, and Jose Diodo is a player who definitely wants to get things going early. I think these players have finally got to the point where they know how they want to play the game. Now, I think their ceiling is going to come off insanely difficult to predict based off the caliber of players you're looking at compared to the stronger players on the other teams. 100 Thieves ended up having a great week, actually. They went 2-0. They had the match of the week, 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses, and they ended up winning a grudge match against EG. You would think on paper EG could beat Evil Geniuses more, because on paper, I think their roster is just a bit better, actually, in certain places. Jojo Pion played uncharacteristically bad on Ari. Abadage had a really good game on Azir. After that, they pretty much just destroyed TSM. That was pretty much to be expected. It was not even fair to begin with, honestly. But yeah, 100 Thieves did very well this week. It was nice to see them bounce back in this week and pretty much show people that they're still going to be a top 3 contending for first place team in the LCS, actually. If they make another finals appearance in the LCS 2022 Summer Split Finals, I'm not surprised. I think this roster is composed of good players, and I think it just depends on, how they want to, play the game. Like, we know they're really primarily early game focused. That's why I've always thought they were like the rogue of LCS. They have a really good early game, and they can definitely beat on teams that don't have their shit together, and they've been consistently able to do that week to week to week to week. Also, it's nice to see Abadage having a good game on Azir based off myriad of different factors, because, this year in total, Abadage actually hasn't been able to be that player that he was when he first came into the league in the LCS 2022 the LCS 2021 Summer Split, when 100 Thieves picked him up from Shaka No Fear. Then, rounding off this week, we have Evil Geniuses still sitting at first spot at 9-2. They definitely lost to 100 Thieves in a pretty convincing game, but EG definitely dominated CLG. It seems like Evil Geniuses are all on... So there's a few teams in the LCS, I think, who are on the same page right now, which is these 3 right here. Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest. I think the players on the rosters have an idea of how they want to play the game. Not that they have a team identity, but they know how they want to play the game at just the minimal level for doing basic things, actually.
Do you think what has happened is that finally we've seen the old guard drop down? Remember, the old guard was TSM, Cloud9, TL, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's EG, 1T, and I guess you could say FlyQuest, but TL is kind of hanging in there. Do you think that it's just shifted now? Mm-hmm. No, I'm asking you.
Oh, sorry. What happened?
I'm saying the old guard was TSM, Cloud9, TL. Yeah. Now it's EG, 100T, and whatever team who's better for third. Do you think now it's just things have just shifted and players are just...
It's a combination of two things. I think orgs like Cloud9 and TSM didn't really make good decisions this year in terms of roster building. I mean, their level of play has definitely shown that. I think that their level of play has been also shown by the players they picked up. And the other orgs like Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves, they were always on the cusp of being at this level anyway. You just needed a few more pieces together for it to work. That's just me personally.
I don't know how much I missed from, I think, crashed randomly. Yeah, I mean, the Prize Stalker thing, I mean, I agree that he wasn't working and what the team needed, but I mean, I don't think River is the answer either. I think they're kind of the same players, just different champion pools. So I honestly would have had them both scrim it out, in my opinion, before deciding. But
all right, so that is going to pretty much conclude our discussion on the standings. I do think 100 Thieves have the potential to end up first place, depending on if EG lose more of their games. So we're going to do our predictions. FlyQuest versus Cloud9. This is actually going to be one of those matches that Cloud9 need to actually win if they want to get further into the standings, because right now, FlyQuest are better in the standings than them right now. They've won more games than them.
Cloud9 needs fourth if they want to avoid lower bracket.
Because in the lower bracket, if you get 7th and 8th in the split, you get one shot.
I mean, they're better than Team Liquid. I just don't know if they'll end up higher than them.
So right here, you have some pretty key marquee matchups. C9 FlyQuest, that's pretty interesting. TL versus TSM, that should be a better rivalry matchup, but we'll see how that goes. Then you also have on Sunday, TSM and Golden Guardians is actually pretty interesting, considering these teams are kind of not wanting to be in that 7th to 8th spot. So a win against either is going to be very crucial. Team Liquid versus Cloud9, another good match. So we have some pretty interesting matches for this week. Now, all right, Saturday, I want C9 to win. But will they beat FlyQuest?
No.
But if I predict for them, that means God will make it happen, right?
Yeah. No, I want to see 100 Thieves versus the Morals and have Kenby fuck his old team.
Yeah, that's the thing. FlyQuest, if they keep up this level of performance, getting them is not a free win in playoffs, actually. Sorry, car alarm's going off.
I mean, you want me to go first then? Okay.
Yeah.
FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, CLG, and EG the next week. Let's see. Go TSM, EG, Cloud9, 100 Thieves, and Dig.
You want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go by. I'm gonna say from one C9, 100 TL, Golden Guardians, EG, and then TSM, EG, C9, 100 CLG.
I'm just saying, this is the week where, honestly, predicting a bunch of upsets wouldn't be too out there with what the matchups are. It would be kind of logical to an extent.
Right now, hey, I want C9 to win against FlyQuest, but right now FlyQuest are just playing a bit better. So sorry, I'll go FlyQuest, 100 Thieves, Team Liquid, CLG, EG, Sunday Golden Guardians.
And remember, they're trying out a new player.
Yeah. Also, and then EG versus FlyQuest is also pretty spicy too. If FlyQuest can actually go a 2-0 this week, that looks very good for them, because they'll be at 9-4, and EG would have potentially lost in their game, so that knocks them down a peg to be tied with 100 Thieves actually almost. Spicy week we got here. Let's see, what epic, FlyQuest or EG? Yeah, it was on FlyQuest. I think FlyQuest potentially get a 2-0. I mean, I want Cloud9 to win, but I think FlyQuest have a 2-0 week on their hands.
Honestly,
given how both teams are really shaky, I'm pretty sure Cloud9 takes it this time around.
Yeah, no, Cloud9 will take it. I mean, they should have won the last time. It's just that fucking bot lane.
Then IMT versus 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves will probably just beat the shit out of them this time.
So you predicted FlyQuest or EG?
FlyQuest, actually.
Okay. I mean, I'm thinking of going an upset there. But...
Well, that pretty much wraps it up for this week's episode, honestly, unless you guys want to go over one of the games. What game stuck out to you guys?
My predictions, people shat on and they looked bad at the start, but now, what CLG is doing great right now. Immortals is gonna probably make playoffs now. 100 Thieves looking like it will end up first in the standings if FlyQuest upsets EG. Hey.
We're getting there. Sean got lucky. That's the thing. Sometimes, like, you know how you predict a team to do well and they don't do well until that following split? That always happens for some reason.
Yes, that happens with me every year. I predict a team like CLG to do that, and then they still end up like where I kind of it. But I thought they would surprise people and end up being very good. But then it's always the fucking next split where then they do that. It's every fucking time. And I honestly never thought Doklo was that bad when he was on Optic. I'm surprised he didn't got a chance this late, second chance.
This was IMT versus TSM. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I clicked on another game, but sure. So this game, like, Revenge just definitely took it to Seoul. Like, I know a lot of people were going like, Revenge is so good. It's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's just like the Palafox when he played. He plays good. He plays great on Azir, but that's it. So then when he gets an Azir,
he had the one good game this whole year.
That
was actually insane right there.
Yeah, he always plays good on Azir. So when he plays that, like this week, they're like, "Oh, Palafox is amazing, Palafaker." It's like, no.
It's like, why would they even clump right here? No one, Aatrox could just hit them right there with his third Q.
No, man. Revenge is just too good. He's the new Shy. Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Oh, fuck out of here.
No, this is like when fucking Bjergsen got Player of the Week just because the 100 Thieves roster with Ryoma literally just ran under his Azir turret and he got like 10 kills from it in the game. And then he backdoored. Like, no, the team he faced him was just shit.
God. This was the match of the week right here. Sorry, guys. Vin Diesel.
Oh, was that wind there? Damn. Yeah, I had to turn my fan back on because my computer was overheating. That was part of the reason, so it might be harder to hear me again.
Oh, you're fine. It's just fucking...
when I turned it off before I came back, did you hear me better?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the fucking fan. It's too fucking hot.
Good God, what are these car alarms, dude?
Oh, it was a car alarm. It sounded like fucking wind in the...
God, dude, holy shit. All right, match of the week. EG versus 100 Thieves. This is a rematch of the LCS 2022 Spring Split Finals. EG got the better of 100 Thieves previously in the split, but this time around, it was all Abadaga on Azir. Faker Dage?
Yeah, again, him and Contracts are in the run-in for most improved.
Yeah, Abadaga definitely played really well this game. There were so many threats on the 100 Thieves composition. You have Viego all in the Azir poke. You have your Zeri poke, your Renata ultimate. But the 100 and EG's comp, I understood what they were trying to do with it. I don't think they played it out very fine. And Jojo Pion definitely had a really suspect game on Ahri. Like, Jojo Pion has had a lot of suspect games recently. And no one points out. They're like, no, Jojo Pion is cracked. Sure.
Yeah, no, they always give him free passes like Bjergsen. Like, no, he's good. And again, you people are idiots saying he wouldn't improve, but he's still not amazing or anything yet, and never has.
This right here was so good right here. And this was like I've always thought 100 Thieves had the better players in certain key positions, but him getting the quadra right there was honestly super great. That kiting back was great. He almost got a pentakill right there, actually. Yeah. And after he was honestly happy the game was like at a certain point he was 2 items ahead, like an item and a half ahead of Jojo Pion. He had 300 CS at a certain point too. Like that was disgusting to see.
I just do not understand why teams pick.
Good job. That was a great dive. What is this dive? Good job.
Jesus.
Remember, that's our best team right there.
But it's like, why do teams keep opting into like Ahri and Kai'Sa in these comps out of old things like it's actually going to do well?
Because they want to prepare for they're preparing for Worlds.
Jesus, this is like fucking when Flash. Remember that year at MSI when Team Liquid made finals in GT1 and Flash was in the group, and in their very first game against like IG or something, they picked a comp that was literally from like 2018 with Kai'Sa and everything that was out of the meta, And then everybody was just like, what the fuck's going on? And then they got stopped. This is like that.
But yeah, this was the match of the week, and this was pretty stompish. I mean, yikes. Like, but I wouldn't go so hard on EG like some people were. I mean, these games are going to happen to BO1. And that's the problem with BO1s, as Warren brought up, is like, if this was a BO3, how would EG adapt to them, actually? You know? Because that happens a lot, too. But we'll never know until we have playoffs. And playoffs for the summer of LCS is just very, very intense and grueling. So, yep, that is going to...
It makes you lose faith in your region. Very grueling.
Oh, my God. So, yeah, that is... pretty much it. I'll have to check out my schedule. I'm pretty sure there's no big Hollywood blockbuster films coming out next week. So
again, the fucking A24 film that got 100%. It was at my theater for like the 20th when the day it was released, and I'm like, okay. Then the day I was about to buy a ticket and see it, they removed it from my theater just before it released, and they haven't put it out since. And it's coming out digitally on the 1st. So I guess I'm not going to see it in theaters. So other than that, yeah, there's like nothing else as of recently that's coming out for Hollywood films. But I mean, there's tons of films you should see that came out this year though that you haven't yet.
I'm ready to watch more shark movies, actually, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, one was Shark, like you didn't do a screen for Shark Week or anything, did you? Or is it not there yet?
We gotta do a Shark Attack podcast for it. I have to watch the Shark Week 2022 stuff so far, so I can do videos on it. I don't think it's on YouTube yet either, because I wanted to do, I'm not watch it, but you know, pick out certain points of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, sorry, but it's like that fucking. You remember the Clutch Gaming versus TSM regional finals? Jeez, it's like, listen, it was a great moment for Clutch Gaming and everything, but that just made me like want to commit suicide after watching that, realizing how bad our region was. Like. Yo, that Baron fight in Game 5, Hooney on Aurelia whiffed his ult, got no people. DeMonte on Kiana whiffed his ult, got no fucking people. And same thing with their support and their jungler, like on Jarvan and shit with fucking Lyra. All right, they like 4 out of 5 ults got no members at TSM who are full health. All right. So you're like, okay, TSM's gonna mop them up 5-0. Kog'Maw, Cody's son, just kills all 5 of them 5-0. You just let that sink in. That's how bad the region was in like 2019.
Oh, God. Well, I enjoy watching LCS despite how shitty it is sometimes. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show tonight. You know, LEC show, LCS show. Astralis is still bad. And so is SK
Gaming.
But
no, I was just bringing up because
fuck off.
I was just bringing up that series, man, because I'm pretty sure that's what made them get rid of the regional finals. They're like, holy shit, what is this fucking shit show?
Man, Astralis and SK make playoffs, you can suck my dick.
If SK Gaming and Astralis make finals, I'm throwing my chair at a window.
Okay, SK Gaming is not going to do shit. All right, now Astralis should listen. MSK is like over exaggerating. They're not good still, obviously at all. But I mean, they're
definitely trash.
But they're playoff worthy over some of the other garbage teams in LEC, and they have their moments. I mean, again, Digichachi is trash out there.
So again, quick, really quick question before you end the stream, MSK.
Yeah.
So
I hate you actually more.
Well, you're stupid. So with the extra slot that they got, right? Who do you think will get in LEC?
Wait, they already announced it.
He's talking in terms of teams are going to Worlds.
Right? The Worlds thing.
Fuck, dude. I think I'm not even confident Fnatic goes anymore, dude. Fnatic have looked really fucking bad.
I'm not confident. I think it will be G2,
Rogue, Excel.
Rogue.
Excel's been on the decline.
No, were you on drugs?
They were top, and now they're middle of the pack right now.
The 3rd place.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm not even kidding. The 3rd place right now. They're playing very well.
But they've only been 1-3 the last 2 weeks.
Well, they went 2-2. They lost 2 games, and this week they won 2 games.
Right.
Hold on, I need to pull up like the standings.
I mean,
again.
if XL can keep up their form, I would say they're going to be there, but I don't want Team Vitality going.
No, that definitely not. But I mean, I think it'll be. Yeah, I forgot. Mad Lions, Rogue, G2, and
SK.
no, fuck off. I mean, again, honestly, if I mean,
SK.
I would obviously say XL, but if they keep falling off a bit, honestly, I mean, maybe
SK.
Misfits could get in there. Hey, yeah, imagine if Misfits made it to Worlds.
Imagine if Astralis makes it to Worlds.
If Astralis makes it to Worlds, I'm gonna fucking cut my dick off.
Oh, make sure you record it.
Yeah, no. I'm not gonna. I made like that joke and a legit bet with many things that I know for sure will never happen, but that one actually has a possibility because it's a shit show for that 4th spot. So I'm not actually doing that bet there. There will be like some BME fucking Paint Olympics type shit. Jesus Christ.
Like, this is my thing. I just don't want Team Vitality or Misfits going. I would rather if XL or Fnatic go. If Fnatic get their shit together, I would love if they go. But Fnatic right now, dude, have looked really bad. Like, XL have looked pretty solid. I mean, honestly, despite people still kind of like not giving them the credit they deserve, they've been pretty much an underdog in a lot of like even analyst predictions too. But I just wouldn't want Team Vitality going. That's just that's an instant fucking.
That would just be depressing, but to watch. But I mean, okay, there were 2 things. I don't know if you covered them while I was gone. I don't know if you covered anything while I was gone, like when I leaked out. But oh, you did. Okay, well, I mean, did you talk about Limit?
Limit. Oh, the Limit Aradote thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we forgot that yesterday. But basically, guys, Limit is coming back into play for Aradote. Aradote requested to just kind of take some time off because, probably being on a 10th place team as bad as Team BDS is pretty mentally straining, honestly.
Yeah, and we'll just ruin your career. That Limit's already done, so hey. But also, second thing, so Neo, I believe, is coming back in over Spawn after week 1, unless the roster sources are wrong. But I mean, how did you think Spawn played? Because honestly, thought he played pretty solid. But I mean, do you think he's LCS potential?
Who?
Spawn. No, Dig.
Him and Instinct don't look bad, actually. I just wish they weren't in the situations that they are in. Like I think from the games I've seen from him, he's looked pretty okay, honestly.
What I don't understand, though, is the casters being like, he developed now. He's now ready for LCS. Like, guys, he did not improve at all from like the 2 years he was fucking stuck in Academy hell on Dig Academy and shit, and with like all those veterans like Phoenix. All right, he was literally like 22 or 23 when he came in, and he was that good to begin with. All right, he was just like, and now he's like 24, 25. What do you mean? Oh, this young potential guy, he's ready now. He's fucking old. All right, and he did not improve. He was already that good. Like, what are you talking about? These casters. This is like when they called Diamond an up-and-coming young prospect from Cloud9 Academy, even though he was playing since like 2011 and he was like 26 when he was on Fly. What a bunch of fucking
remember
idiots.
when SK Gaming had a player, Warlib and Sakura, and they did so bad we've never seen him ever again. What happened to Sakura? What has he been doing?
I don't know.
He's in ERLs. Warlib is a streamer. He has a Latin America, like he gets like 10K people.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, SK Gaming ruined him. That's what happened.
No,
yeah.
SK is making freaking worlds. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hey,
sorry. Mad Lions, G2, XL, and Rogue should be the.
Why didn't you say fucking Mad, you dumb fuck?
I forgot. I've had so much sex earlier that literally. So Mad.
Yeah, you want me to tell you the story Warren on his stream with his friend?
Goodbye, everyone. Peace. See you guys next week.